I tried to make an appointment with an outside person directly, and it was just really stressful trying to like figure out who I should contact. So I decided to like go to SES, ask for some help, and then decided to stay with them through the quarter. It was not particularly positive before going there. I was really apprehensive because a friend of mine had had a really bad experience with forced hospitalization. That really scared me. I didn't feel like I could completely open up, which kind of just destroys the trust of the therapeutic experience. So I was really nervous and felt like I couldn't be totally honest going in. But I feel like after I went in and actually like spoke to the people, I started feeling a lot more comfortable. Yeah, I actually kind of had two positive experiences because I used both some of their therapeutic services and some of their psychiatric services. I was really hesitant about the counselor I was working with because it was an older man, just in general a man, and some of the stuff I wanted to talk to him about was related to Title IX issues, but I had a really positive experience. You know, he was a really good listener and it was a very affirming experience, very non-judgmental and trying to help me stop judging myself. And then he was able to refer me to their psychiatric services for some medication management, and I met with a psychiatric nurse practitioner who was really, really sweet, down to earth, and helped me work out a medication plan for some long-term management, including a new prescription. It was a really nice way to ease back into therapy without having to go through all of the paperwork and insurance side of things, because that's just so anxiety producing. It's just you call, you see when they're available, and you just make an appointment. I felt like I was censoring myself. Like there were things that I didn't feel willing to say in the office because I thought if they took it the wrong way, they could think something that's not true about me at all. I was even worried about talking about past things that they could misinterpret. They might extrapolate to the present. I believe from my experience with some of the like not onboarding, but like the orientation, presentations and materials, you learn a bit about like mandated reporters for sexual assault and like what they have to report, when they have, who they are. And I think having something similar for student counseling, like when they have to seek outside resources with a very clear list, I recognize that that could be a barrier to therapy because it could it could lead to people being not totally honest about the degree of help they need. But I think it's also really important for transparency's sake. More details about the confidentiality, like, you know, what they have to report, when they have to report, but you know, what I can really be honest about. And I also would have liked to know a little. I didn't learn until pretty recently that they had psychiatric services where you could do like medication management. And I think if I'd known that, I would have gone a lot sooner. I've had a lot of luck with a particular mental health app called Pacifica, which is free and has a bunch of things like mood tracking, meditation. So it's a really good like day-to-day management thing. And you can connect a therapist to it if your therapist wants to be able to like track your mood. So, you know, on days that you're not seeing them. And it's developed by professionals with like CBT practices in mind.
I've never heard of this resource.
Yeah, and it's free. There's a premium version where you get more meditations, but I just use the free version, and there's still a lot available, including anonymous support groups, like chat rooms. So,
Process.
Yeah. Also, just having to do everything by phone calls is really rough, especially, it's like, I'm trying to get in contact just with a therapist who can help me with my anxiety, but I'm really anxious about making phone calls.
Right.
Yeah. It makes the process like 10 times harder having to make a phone call. It's one of the things, I haven't used this, but it's something that I have saved in my phone, the Lean On Me, like peer-run text service, and I haven't used it myself, but I love that it's just, I know it's the like millennial, oh, you're attached to your phones, but not to actually calling on your phones. But it's really nice to not, especially if you're having an anxiety attack and can't breathe, sometimes you can still type. And it's really good to know that there's someone you can type something to.
Exactly.